Have you ever had the sense that something bigger is unfolding around us, something unseen, yet deeply felt? A shift that quietly urges us toward a new way of thinking, living, and being. Welcome to the Age of Aquarius, a period of transformation, awakening, and redefinition of humanity's relationship with the cosmos. But what exactly is the Age of Aquarius? Is it just an astrological term? Or is it a signpost marking a profound shift in the spiritual and social evolution of humanity? To answer that, we must first understand the concept of the Great Cosmic Year. Our solar system doesn't stand still, it moves through space in a slow, circular journey around the center of the Milky Way galaxy. This massive cycle, known in ancient teachings as the Great Year or Cosmic Year, spans approximately 25,920 years. Ancient Egyptian priests divided this cosmic rotation into 12 sectors, each aligned with one of the zodiac constellations. The sun remains in each sign for around 2,160 years, defining the qualities of an age, its energies, consciousness, and challenges. We are now transitioning between two such ages, moving from the Age of Pisces into the Age of Aquarius. The Age of Pisces, which began around 150 BCE and lasted until the early 21st century, was defined by themes of faith, sacrifice, and devotion. It was an age that gave rise to organized religions, spiritual saviors, and dualistic thinking. Pisces, symbolized by two fish swimming in opposite directions, reflected a deep tension between the material and the spiritual, between belief and doubt, body and soul. Now, as we enter the Age of Aquarius, we are being asked to shift gears. The Aquarian Age is not about believing blindly, it is about understanding clearly. It encourages critical thinking, innovation, collective progress, and spiritual independence. This new era invites us to question inherited structures, embrace scientific and intuitive understanding, and participate in a world that is increasingly interconnected, socially, spiritually, and technologically. Skeptics may question how star systems can influence human behavior. But let's step into science for a moment. Modern physics confirms that everything in the universe is energy, vibrating at different frequencies. Electromagnetic fields exist around every object made of atoms, including humans, Earth, and celestial bodies. Subatomic particles like electrons and photons don't behave in fixed, predictable ways. They display wave-particle duality, acting both as particles and as waves depending on how they're observed. In this context, stars and planets aren't just distant objects, they're emitters of electromagnetic waves that interact subtly but meaningfully with our own fields. The position of the solar system within the galaxy impacts the planet's energy environment, which in turn affects collective consciousness and societal development. So when astrologers say the Age of Aquarius brings a new frequency, they're not just being poetic. They're pointing to a real shift in energetic dynamics. At the end of each cosmic year, every 25,920 years, ancient traditions suggest that Earth undergoes a cataclysmic transformation. This doesn't necessarily mean destruction, it implies a reset, a new possibility for evolution. In this perspective, humanity collectively undergoes a kind of death and rebirth, old ways dissolve, making room for new paradigms. These cycles are not random. They're part of a larger design, what some call the will of divine intelligence, or the supreme consciousness. We are at such a point now, the threshold between eras. Each astrological age is influenced by its ruling planet. For Aquarius, that planet is Uranus, symbolizing revolution, technology, and disruption of tradition. Where Pisces looked upward for salvation, Aquarius stretches outward, building networks, communities, and systems based on equality and innovation. It's not a time of isolation, but of collaboration. This age recognizes that no one evolves alone. Progress is collective, and interconnection is our greatest strength. Throughout history, changes in astrological ages have corresponded with profound shifts in civilization. The move from Taurus to Aries saw the rise of warrior cultures and militaristic empires. The transition from Aries to Pisces marked the spread of monotheistic religions and the dominance of spiritual hierarchies. And now, the movement from Pisces to Aquarius is laying the groundwork for the awakening of collective consciousness, where science, spirituality, and intuition converge. The Aquarian shift is not just about external events, it's about a deep inner revolution. We are witnessing a transformation of what it means to be spiritual. Traditional dogmas are losing their grip. In their place, we see a rise in meditation, inner inquiry, esoteric studies, and holistic practices. Spirituality is becoming experiential and personal. It is no longer about intermediaries, but about direct connection with the divine, whatever name or form one may give it. This shift is also visible in science. Fields like quantum physics, neuroscience, and cosmology are beginning to describe a universe that is more interconnected and intelligent than previously imagined. Science and spirituality, once seen as opposing forces, are beginning to speak a common language. The Age of Aquarius doesn't stop at personal awakening. It brings changes to the systems that shape our world. Leadership will move away from rigid hierarchies toward collective, decentralized models. Technology, especially the internet and artificial intelligence, will reshape how we communicate and organize. Information becomes the most valuable currency, and access to it empowers individuals across the globe. Aquarius also represents a commitment to equality and sustainability. It challenges us to care for the Earth as an extension of ourselves, embracing the Gaia hypothesis, that the planet is a living organism. Expect greater focus on renewable energy, ecosystem restoration, ethical technologies, resource-based economies. This is not a utopian ideal. It is a necessity, if humanity is to survive and thrive. In essence, the Age of Aquarius marks the transition from a world built on separation and belief, to one founded on understanding, integration, and unity. It is a time of potential, but not without challenges. The structures of the past will resist. But with awareness, intention, and collaboration, we can build a world more aligned with who we are, and who we are becoming. The Age of Aquarius is not simply a shift in outer systems, it is, at its core, a profound inner transformation. While political structures evolve and technology reshapes how we connect, the most impactful revolution is happening quietly within each of us. This is the revolution of consciousness. Unlike revolutions of the past that centered on territory, ideology, or power, the Aquarian shift is not about conflict or control. It is about illumination, shining light on inner shadows, outdated beliefs, and emotional wounds that prevent us from living with clarity and intention. Aquarius calls us to shift from reaction to reflection, from division to unity, from superficial identity to authentic being. It is not a revolution marked by flags or leaders, but by self-awareness, compassion, and individual responsibility. Real transformation starts by confronting our internal resistance. Old habits, emotional patterns, and conditioned fears begin to surface. We may feel discomfort, anxiety, or disorientation. But these are signs of growth, not failure. The ego, long accustomed to control and self-preservation, may resist change. But Aquarius teaches us that true freedom lies not in protecting the old, but in letting go of what no longer serves us. It is in this letting go that we find the courage to rewrite our story. As individuals awaken, something powerful happens, the collective field shifts. Our personal transformation ripples outward, influencing families, communities, and eventually, societies. This interconnected evolution doesn't require everyone to move at the same pace, but it does require collective momentum. In the Aquarian model, progress isn't led by a few, it's fueled by the energy of the many. New forms of governance will likely emerge, more participatory, transparent, and grounded in shared values. Concepts like resource-based economies, intentional communities, and decentralized technology, such as blockchain, are gaining relevance in this context. One of the most promising aspects of this age is the convergence of science and spirituality, two domains long seen as opposites. Quantum physics has revealed that consciousness influences matter. Neuroscience shows that meditation and intention can rewire the brain. Concepts like quantum entanglement echo ancient teachings on oneness and interconnectedness. What was once esoteric is now being supported by empirical evidence. The Aquarian mindset doesn't see faith and reason as rivals, but as complementary tools for understanding existence. This shift opens the door to a more holistic worldview, where healing, innovation, and insight come from both intuitive wisdom and scientific inquiry. Under Aquarian influence, the arts will also flourish in new, boundary-breaking ways. Music, film, and visual arts will evolve into tools for healing, storytelling, and awakening. Creativity will emphasize diversity, inclusion, and collaborative expression. Traditional forms will merge with digital mediums, including AI-generated art and immersive experiences. Culture will no longer be a passive product to consume, but a living expression of shared transformation. Another defining theme of this era is the understanding that Earth is alive, not just physically, but energetically. This is the return of the Gaia perspective, that the planet is not a collection of resources, but a living, conscious system of which we are a part. Sustainability is no longer optional, it becomes a moral and spiritual imperative. Concepts like regenerative agriculture, clean energy, and circular economies gain ground. Individuals are called to live in harmony with the planet, not out of fear, but out of love. Even dietary habits come into question. The ecological and ethical impact of industrial meat production prompts many to adopt plant-based diets, not as a trend, but as a conscious choice that aligns with compassion and planetary care. Aquarian energy also stirs the waters of the unknown, exposing long-suppressed truths and shaking old narratives. From political corruption to industrial malpractice, what was hidden begins to surface. In the entertainment industry, abuses of power are being brought to light. Even discussions around extraterrestrial life are gaining credibility, as governments release formally classified information. The question is not whether other life exists, but how long we've known, and what the implications are for our identity and history. This unveiling is not intended to frighten, but to liberate. Truth, even when uncomfortable, is a catalyst for healing. To navigate this era successfully, inner readiness is everything. Here are some essential steps. 1. Cultivate self-awareness through practices like meditation, journaling, and reflection. 2. Let go of limiting beliefs, habits, and dependencies that no longer align with your path. 3. Strengthen community bonds, practice empathy, listen actively, and value collaboration. 4. Stay open to new knowledge, both scientific and spiritual. 5. Balance body and mind, with movement, mindful eating, and adequate rest. 6. Practice discernment. Not all that appears spiritual is rooted in truth. Seek authenticity. With great transition comes intensity. We may face overwhelm from rapid technological shifts, polarization between old and new worldviews, resistance to change from within and around us, spiritual confusion amid the flood of ideas. But these are not signs of failure. They are part of the birthing process of a new paradigm. They are reminders that evolution is not linear, it's a spiral that requires courage, compassion, and patience. The Age of Aquarius is not a prophecy waiting to happen, it is a path we actively shape through our thoughts, choices, and relationships. It asks us to transcend division, embrace truth, and co-create a world where freedom, connection, and understanding are not ideals, but daily realities. As the Hermetic teaching says, as above, so below. As within, so without. When we transform ourselves, we become part of a global transformation, one breath, one thought, one intention at a time.